I think right now masculinity is being attacked, and there's a misconception of what masculinity really is. Well, Bear, how's it going today, buddy?
Man, it's a pretty good day, Chap. I'm here with you, here with some people I like, and I'm ready to do some talking, man. Ready to get this thing on the road.
Hey, I think it's pretty cool. We get to just kind of hang out and visit and just tell people what we think.
Absolutely.
Whether they like it or not.
As long as it helps somebody, Chap.
Well, you know, the whole idea of us getting together each week is just sharing some raw thoughts and not worrying about what people think, but being honest, authentic, original.
So what's on the agenda for today, Chap?
You know, Matt Walsh has been going around the country talking about what's a woman. I'm going to let him handle that one. I think we need to decide, we need to kind of talk about what's a man. So I thought masculinity, because I think right now masculinity is being attacked, and there's a misconception of what masculinity really is.
I agree.
Masculinity is more than just being genetically male.
I agree.
So what are your thoughts?
Masculinity to me is more about being a good man and what a good man is. And I'd like to start us off with a quote from G. Michael Hoff. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. And I believe we're in a hard times right now.
I think we are. I think culturally we're in a hard times, and culturally we're grasping for what's real. We're arguing about everything.
Absolutely.
We're arguing about gender. We're arguing about everything that is gender. And I think that it's not near the complicated topic as we want it to be culturally. And so let's just kind of get an idea of masculinity simply understood. Do you have to be is it a man thing?
I don't think so. I think it's more about character.
Okay.
You know, being a man, I think we talked about it before, you know, being a man of honor, being a man of character, that means something. You know, there's nothing wrong with somebody that looks the way that I do. I've got tattoos. I go to the gym.
Well, you look like a masculine man.
Most days, but you know, I have a lot of feelings. I have a lot of emotions. You know, I deal with insecurities. These are all constant struggles that we deal with. And it's really hard to put one definition on what being a good man is.
Well, I think a lot of, you know, we have this dynamic in our culture that a man is a gun-toting, deer-killing, hunting man with a beard, got some muscles, goes to the gym. You know, that's kind of the idea of the rugged masculinity-based man.
Right.
But I'm going to be honest, you can be a very masculine man and not like to do any of that stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, I think character is where it's all at.
I also think there's a difference between being a good man and being good at being a man.
Go further. Go more.
You know, a man is supposed to be, in my opinion, a man is supposed to be a protector, a defender, standing up for what's right. And that doesn't just apply to a man. That applies to all human beings, men and women together.
Right.
But we are talking about masculinity. We are talking about what a good man is. And there's a lot of different definitions on that. And I try to walk the walk.
Right.
I just talk the talk.
Right.
And I think that's necessary and what makes a good man.
Right. And I think it's important to understand that the functionality of manhood, it's like a roller coaster. I mean, we're boys, then we're men, then we're husbands, we're dads, we're providers, we're protectors. I mean, there's a lot of pieces to really being what I believe God created the man to be functionally.
Absolutely.
And the challenge that we just want to fight over it. We want to try and redefine what that looks like in our society. And I'd like to just focus specifically on character. Because I believe at the end of the day, who we are is what we are, or what we are is who we are, however you want to look at it.
Absolutely.
And it's in the heart that we find out what a man really is.
Absolutely.
I know you are more of the warrior look, and that's cool. That's why you're my bodyguard wherever we go. And I have fun introducing you like that. But not every man that's masculine has that warrior look or that warrior feel. All right. But what they do have in common is they have a heart of a man. They have the heart of a protector. They have the heart of a provider for their family, which I believe is God's role for man.
I think if you go back further, talking about masculinity, think about when you were in school, when you were in high school, going through all the different levels of education that you have. When you were a boy, competitiveness.
Right.
Competitiveness is not necessarily a bad thing. When you got kids fighting over a toy, you need to learn how to share. Right. Sharing is caring. Right. But we don't need to breed that out of our society. Wars are fought with weapons.
Right.
But they're won by men.
Right.
And
Agreed.
women.
And women. Yeah, I agree.
By human beings.
I agree.
Right.
Right.
And less than 1% serve in any type of capacity, whether it's military, first responders, police. What would you do without those people? Don't we need those people?
Absolutely. We wouldn't be a society without those people. We have to have that. And we have to have the type of people doing those jobs that we can trust, that are loyal. And I'm glad that there are warriors out there.
Absolutely.
I really am. And as we grow and we learn more about what that looks like, that's a whole different conversation.
I try to be a man of integrity and honor, character.
Yeah.
But I also take my role as a protector and a provider very seriously. I have that sheepdog mentality.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I tell people I carry a gun because a cop's too heavy.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So it's incumbent upon me to protect my family, right? To protect my tribe,
Right.
to protect the people around me. And I believe that's what God put me here to do, is, to protect my tribe so it can flourish and thrive.
I agree. How, we talk about integrity, we talk about honor, and I think it gets lost in the fray of conversation out there on social media and everywhere else. This idea of integrity. What do you think integrity really does in the heart of a man?
Standing up for what's right, being a man of your word, being a person that follows through, doing what you said you were going to do.
Yeah, I can tell you when I was growing up, my dad used to always tell me. He said, "A real man is a man of his word."
Absolutely.
And I tried to train my children. If you say it, you better do it.
Absolutely.
And don't say it if you're not going to be it. And to me, that is honesty and that is integrity, being who you say you are, but at the same time, being who you're supposed to be.
Right.
And I think that's key. I think there's also a level of respect that must come into play We have to respect one another. We have to give other people an opportunity to speak, but at the same time, we must stand firm for those things that we believe are correct and are right.
Right, absolutely.
And that's kind of that warrior thing.
Absolutely.
All right. If it's the right thing, you can say anything you want. I'm going to stand for it. If it's right, that you can count on. At least if I believe it's right.
Right. Right.
And so, but I think respect. We've lost respect in this country.
I agree.
We no longer respect one another's time. We don't respect one another's belief systems. We don't respect one another's thoughts or attitudes about issues. We want to debate instead of have conversations. We want to argue and fight instead of caring about others' opinions and thoughts. I think respect is a very big part of being a man today. And a masculine man is a man that can respect other people.
I'm going to flip the script on you right now. You know, if...
No.
If, a man should also be kind to his family. Mm-hmm. A man should protect the infirm, protect the sick, protect the weak. It is inherent. It's incumbent upon you. It's your responsibility.
Right.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that? You know, honor thy father and thy mother. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Men don't cry. We're tough. I grew up. Well, obviously I'm a little older than you, not much, just a little. I've just lived a lot of life. I'll put it that way. And I grew up in a time when everyone mattered. Men didn't cry. We were hard. You got up, you worked, you did your best.
Right.
You trusted and you respected other people. But you never cried because men don't cry.
I can tell you, I'm glad you brought that up because I taught my kids it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
And they don't see me cry too much, but as I get older, I understand more. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of known unknowns now. Like the more I read, the more I live.
Yeah.
The more I figure out I don't know. But it's okay to experience those emotions. Emotions make great slaves, but horrible masters.
Absolutely.
Right. You can't let that run your life.
Right.
But I mean, when I was younger, I thought crying, I thought showing compassion was a sign of weakness. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely not. I can remember, on many occasions shedding tears in front of my children, whether it be at a funeral, whether it be, a difficult position in life. Bad things happen to everybody, right?
Sure.
Depends on how you deal with it. Right. Yeah. Getting back up on the horse, continuing to ride once you've been kicked off, once you've been knocked down, right? Rub some dirt on it, right?
Yeah.
But it's okay to show emotions. It's okay to cry. I cry.
Yeah. I mean, how can you be compassionate if you're not okay with it?
Right.
A few weeks ago, we had a young man take his own life, high school kid, and we immediately reached out to the community.
Right.
Opened our church, and we opened our facility to the community to come and to mourn. And it was really interesting. We had hundreds and hundreds of people in this space.
Right.
And I was looking out, a lot of men, a lot of young men in this space because it was a high school kid. Mm-hmm. And I knew they were hurting, and I knew they wanted to express it, but there was something holding them back. So I got up on the front, and I gave them permission to cry. I gave them permission, one man to another man. I said, in fact, I kind of dared them. I said, guys, I dare you to be honest and just let your emotions free in a time of mourning. It's okay. And I'm going to tell you what, it changed the whole dynamic of that evening. it was a beautiful thing to see real hurt and compassion come outside of these people. And a lot of healing took place that night. I'm gonna tell you, a lot of healing took place that night. But we must be men of compassion.
Absolutely. I'm thinking about all the struggles that I've had to go through in my life and how I've gotten over them. And I'm still not protected from that, right? You struggle all the time, every day, and we have more in common than we have differences. People want to focus on differences and they don't want to focus on the commonalities. And one thing we all have in common is we have feelings. We're all humans.
Right.
Sometimes you have to be a human being and not a human doing, right? You just have to experience those emotions in order to heal.
Right.
And not to go too far down that rabbit hole, but you had said something earlier about respect.
Yeah.
And respect, I was talking to a friend the other day. He said, women really need love and compassion.
Yeah.
Men need respect, right? Go to the doctor's office. How many times you go to an appointment and you're sitting there, the doctor's late. Somebody's late for an appointment. Respects.
Right.
Hey, I respected your time, respect mine. And I think that's a two-way street. And sometimes that gets broken down.
Sure.
Things happen. It's okay. It's okay.
Right.
But saying, hey, man, I screwed up. Nobody ever, one of the things we're missing right now is nobody's held accountable. Nobody is held responsible for their actions. They always want to dismiss. So Jocko talks, he's got this great book. It's called Extreme Ownership.
Yeah.
Owning your mistakes, learning from them, and then pushing past them, right?
Yeah. Well, there's value in struggle, brother.
Absolutely.
There's value in struggle. If we don't have struggle, we don't grow.
Right.
We have to have struggle in order to get better. And so tragedy, heartache, struggle grows a man to be better if he allows it to be better.
Right.
And I want to kind of end our little conversation today with a thought that I had. And generosity and selfishness is an area that I think is getting lost culturally. The idea of being generous with your time, we're getting so caught up in us now.
Right.
It's part of our culture. I am so important. The world needs to know me.
Right.
Because I'm so important now.
Right.
And I have found in my lifetime that service and generosity are much more powerful than living a life of me, me, me. We're sitting here today just having this conversation, trying to make each other better.
Right.
I'm an older fella. You're a younger, gooder looking fella. And you're teaching me things. And I think that's what it's all about. I think we're supposed to teach each other, hold each other accountable. But that can't happen if life's all about me.
That's right. Everybody's got an opinion. It's not your responsibility to shape yourself or conform to somebody else's opinion, right?
Right.
I mean, if you do that, you're never going to be happy. You're never going to fulfill your purpose. You're never going to fulfill what you need to be as a man.
Right.
I talked about that sheepdog mentality. Again, a man is supposed to be a protector, but he's also supposed to love his family, be kind, right? All my kids are grown.
Yeah.
But being able, we talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
My daughter, being able to let her put fake nails on me, or she's
we did
20
talk about
years
that.
old.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, Dad, can I put makeup on you?" And a couple years ago, I would let her. Now it's kind of harder to take off. I asked her about these nails, and I said, "Hey, baby," I said, "Are these nails? How hard are they to get off?" And she was like, "No, no problem, Dad. They come right off."
That was a lie.
It was a lie. It was a lie. But I was man enough to let her do it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it brought my daughter joy.
Yeah.
What's the harm in that? Right?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I don't still do what I need to do to be a good man. You know, I still provide, I still protect, I still preside.
Right. Right.
But it's okay to step outside of your comfort zone sometimes. I think it's your responsibility to do that.
Yeah.
You know, to step outside of your comfort zone, face a little bit of adversity. You know, adversity can either break you or cause you to break records, right?
Right.
So healthy things grow,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you have to keep growing, you know. And again, I know a lot of people have different opinions on what a good man should be. But are you trying to be a good man? Are you up for the challenge?
That's the hard part. I think I want to just send that challenge out to everybody. You know, are you willing to sacrifice a bit of yourself to be a better person, to be a better man? Are you willing to step out and help somebody else who needs help? Are you willing to reach out and reach down or even reach up to help a man become a better man? That's really, we're supposed to walk hand in hand, challenging one another, encouraging one another, holding each other accountable. That's a whole nother show. Accountability. Right. We hate accountability, but I believe that men will get better and be better when they focus not on themselves, but they focus on the families that they have created, the jobs that they are engaged in, and the friendships that they are trying to build. And as long as we're trying to make one another better, I think we're on the right path.
I agree.
I know you wanted to close today with a quote. What do you got?
Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. If you haven't read that book, I highly encourage, you know, everybody out there to read that book.
Yeah.
I know I shared a copy with you. This guy was Roman emperor, one of the 5 great Roman emperors, and he very profound wisdom. All great leaders throughout history have carried a copy of this book. Winston Churchill carried a copy of this book. General Mattis.
Yep.
Their books were torn, weathered, you know, from all the page flipping. I've got my copy right here.
Yep.
So be a good man. Be one.
Absolutely. And it's been fun. I wish we had a whole bunch more time. We'd keep talking, but it's been great today.
Absolutely.
And masculinity, a husband, a father, a provider, protector, all these things are pieces that make a great man a great man.
We'll leave you with one more parting thought. You know, be a dangerous man.
Yeah.
But don't be an ass.
There you go. We're going to close with that one. Bear, it's been great, buddy.
All right.
See you later.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.